Okay, we're going to talk about peritubular capillaries and answer the questions: what happens to the majority of filtrate, and what makes peritubular capillaries perfectly designed for reabsorption and secretion? Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Morton and I'm the noted anatomist. So peritubular capillaries are supplied by the efferent glomerular arteriole, and they surround the proximal and distal tubules and collecting ducts in the renal cortex. That's important, the cortex. And they absorb the majority of filtrate into the blood, like glucose, sodium, and so forth. And it also secretes selected substances like hydrogen into the tubular fluid. And the peritubular capillaries also supply oxygen and nutrients to tubular cells. Let's do that again, except with these illustrations where I superimpose a couple of nephrons, and there's an interlobular artery. That's a distal branch from the renal artery that gives rise to the afferent glomerular arteriole and eventually the glomerulus. So the afferent glomerular arteriole supplies the glomerulus. Afferent means towards, in this case, the glomerulus. And that glomerulus is the first capillary in this nephron portal system. It's where blood is filtered and it forms filtrate. So some of the plasma and the small solutes push through the fenestrations into Bowman's space and it becomes filtrate and eventually tubular fluid moving through the lumen of the PCT and so forth. But a good volume of that blood exits the glomerulus, is not filtered, and it goes into the arteriole that leaves and goes away from the glomerulus, hence the word efferent glomerular arteriole. Efferent means away. And it transports blood away from the glomerulus, and in the cortex, the efferent glomerular arteriole gives rise to the peritubular capillaries, which is the second capillary in the nephron portal system located in the renal cortex. Now, what's that? Here's a longitudinal section, a coronal section through a kidney, and that white dashed line shows the separation of the outer renal cortex and the inner medulla. The medulla is really those renal pyramids. So peritubular capillaries are a dense network around proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubules and the cortical collecting ducts, hence the name, peri, around tubules. And this anatomy is essential for the reabsorption and secretion that occurs in renal physiology. Let's do it again, except in this illustration. There's tubular fluid, and then surrounding those tubules are peritubular capillaries. I'm just showing this specifically for PCTs, but it works the same for cortical DCTs, collecting ducts, and so forth. Reabsorption and secretion occurs because of transporters and paracellular movement. So that rectangle represents sodium and some type of a symporter or antiporter. And in this case, these transporters reabsorb sodium down its gradient and then piggybacks glucose, phosphates, amino acids, potassium, and so forth. Aquaporins allow for the reabsorption of water from the tubular fluid back into the peritubular capillaries, but also, depending on the part of the nephron, water can do a paracellular movement. PCT it works, but not in collecting ducts. Also reabsorption of bicarbonate, and then secretion for things like protons, creatinine, drugs, and so forth. We show it again in this illustration. In renal phys, you see this picture all over the place. Typically on the left, using yellow, is the lumen side or the urinary side or the tubular fluid side. And then on the right is the peritubular capillary. Peri around the tubules, and it's a capillary. So water, sodium, amino acids, glucose, phosphate, calcium, chloride, potassium, and so forth are reabsorbed back into the bloodstream, where things like protons and acids, bases, and drugs are secreted back in or into the tubular fluid. So those peritubular capillaries have the following unique thing, that they have a low hydrostatic pressure because blood has already lost volume in the glomerulus. So when blood was filtered from the glomerulus into Bowman's space and became filtrate, we lost a volume of blood in small solutes, but not albumin, larger proteins. That's why blood in the peritubular capillaries has a higher oncotic pressure, because the proteins are concentrated after filtration. This creates a gradient favoring movement of water and solutes back into the blood, into the peritubular capillaries. This explains why approximately 99% of filtered fluid that occurs at the nephron is reabsorbed into the peritubular capillaries. As blood exits the peritubular capillaries, they go into these venules that eventually go into renal veins, into the systemic circulation. So here's an H&E stain of a renal cortex, and we zoom in. There are 4 glomeruli. You can tell they have that very characteristic tuft-like appearance. And there we have one more glomerulus in the higher end zoom, and then there are some proximal convoluted tubules, and I can tell those are PCTs because of the brush border. And then there are some collecting ducts, and I mean distal convoluted tubules in cross section and some collecting ducts. I did my best to guesstimate where those are. The key to it is those are a bunch of tubules, and peritubular capillaries are surrounding around those tubules. And you can tell they're peritubular capillaries because look at all those red blood cells that you see inside. Here's a glomerulus, here's some PCTs, and there are some DCTs and a collecting duct. So there they all are located. Notice then surrounding those peritubular capillaries, you notice typically a capillary in systemic circulation has capillaries that go in single file. Peritubular capillaries are a little wider than typical systemic capillaries. That's why you see more red blood cells than you would normally see in capillaries. Let's zoom in and so take a look. You see you can get this idea of tubular fluid being reabsorbed from the lumen of the tubule cells into the surrounding peritubular capillaries. And that, my friends, is the topic of peritubular capillaries in a nutshell. You can hear my son playing video games in the background. Happy New Year, everyone.